Welcome to Walk Line. I'm your co-host OG Chris Murray. I know what time it is, man. We back. I got my co-host Ralph Mag in the building. What's going on? What's going on?
What's up, man? Good to be back.
All right, man. So you already know. All right, if you are a new person tuning in to Walk the Line, what me and my co-host do, we break down each game of the week, give our input on who we think has the best chance at securing a W moving forward. So we already know we ain't gonna hold y'all up. Let's dive into these week 9 picks. Coming up first, we got Matty Ice and the Buffalo Bills versus the Schemer and the Tennessee Titans. Now, Matty Ice coming to this game, Ralph, at the top of his division, sitting at 5-2, right? Josh Allen, how I feel in this matchup, man, I'm gonna get right to it. I feel like Josh Allen is gonna have to figure out a way how to secure the ball. Okay, he's going up against a Tennessee Titans team. Even though they're struggling on the offensive side of the ball, this defense is clicking and is ranked top 6 in the DML. And the number one category that I like about this defense is the way that they're being able to cause turnovers, and that secondary is giving up one of the least amount of passing yards in the DML. But what's your thoughts on this game, man? Who you got with it?
Well, the Bills have been solid, especially without his star running back, Josh Jacobs, who's still out. But for me, the key matchup is going to be how his corners White and Carlton Davis match up with those two big wide receivers that Schema's got. He likes to throw those jump balls deep. So that's going to be the key matchup for me.
See, this is the thing about this game right here, right? I'm with you. You like Mr. Tony Romo himself on, your insight on how to break down the games. But it's funny that you mentioned the passing attack with the Schemer and them, and it seems like with Derrick Henry, out there, and each team focusing in on the Schemer's rushing attack, the passing attack has not shown at all this season. So my key matchup in this game is going to have to be Matty Ice and his rushing attack, okay, against the struggling front four of the Tennessee Titans. So I think that if Matty Ice comes into this game and, he leans on Darius Geis, because Josh Jacobs, I believe, is still sidelined due to injury. If he leans on Darius Geis in this matchup, it should open up and takes the pressure a little bit off of Josh Allen. So with my pick, I'm going with the Buffalo Bills in this matchup getting a W. Who you going with?
I'm going with Marty Ice too, man. I think he's going to have to lean on Geis, lock up those receivers, and, force some turnovers from Schema, but I got the Bills. All
right, moving on. We got Sweets in the Denver Broncos versus C-Rob and the Carolina Panthers. It's funny because coming into this matchup, I cannot believe, the Carolina Panthers sitting at 2-5 still has a shot at winning this division. They're literally 2-5 and they still have a shot at winning the NFC South. It's crazy. It reminds me of the real life NFC East that we've seen this season. But C-Rob has to come into this matchup with a clear head. Like I said, man, you still have a shot at winning your division. Come into this matchup with a clear mindset, because even though, the Denver Broncos offense is balling out on all cylinders, their defense can't stop a lick of nothing. His offense is putting up 35 points per game, but the defense is allowing 33. So the Broncos and Sweets can't get into a shootout every single matchup. So I feel like C-Rob, even though White Lightning has not been producing the numbers that, you come accustomed of liking, this would be the game where I think we should lean on him. However, even though the numbers is a little bit shaky out there in Denver, I love the way Sweets plays offense. He's a guy who spreads the ball around. He attacks you from all different types of angles. So I'm locked in with the Broncos on this matchup, but I want to hear your insight on this game. Who you going with?
Man, Sweets was balling early with that quarterback McLeod while, Drew Lock was on the sidelines. And like you said, that new playbook, his receivers, the ball is just spread so evenly. That offense is clicking on all cylinders. I agree with you on that. As for me, I just don't think that C-Rob has enough firepower. He likes to run the ball. He likes to play defense. And against Sweets 9-9, you're going to have to score. And guess what? Max Beach, his quarterback, has already thrown 27 interceptions on the season.
Wow.
So if Sweets defense was looking for a pick-me-up, he might get 3 or 4 picks from C-Rob in this one. Sorry, man, but I got to go with Sweets 99.
So we locked them, and we locked up the first 2 games. We got Matty Ice, we got Sweets. Moving on, we got my Arizona Cardinals versus Solomon Kane and the Chicago Bears. I'm just be as straight and forward as I can be. Coming into this matchup, my offense has to win the turnover battle. Like, we cannot turn that ball over, because I feel like when my offense is out there and we're, playing our type of style of football, we're not turning the rock over. We playing high level Arizona Cardinal football. But when I start to get out there and I'm turning the ball over, it's putting my defense in tough situations, we kind of lose focus of the game, and we kind of majority of the time end up with the loss. So I feel like in this matchup, looking at this Chicago Bears defense on paper, they're ranked top 5 in the DML across the board in all categories. So I feel like I said, just take care of the ball offense and put my defense in the best situations as possible. And I feel like I'm confident with a W this week. So what's your thoughts on this game? Who are you going with?
Man, I've played him, and he just pulled off the win against King Vitamin right now. So he's popping on all cylinders right now. Only 2 losses on the season. I like what you're doing with Murray. You haven't really turned the ball over. 23 tubs, 10 interceptions. But you can't fall into this trap. He's going to work the clock. He's going to play his game. And you got to make him play your game. I think you got to play up-tempo, push the ball down the field, get the ball to those receivers, Isabella and Kirk, and that tight end Joey Rowe that you got. I'm going to go with a sleeper pick. I'm going to take those Arizona Cardinals.
All right, man. Moving on. We got SJ and the Kansas City Chiefs versus HBO and the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, this game right here, a new line just opened up. Vegas said, how many deep balls do you think will be thrown in this matchup? Right now, the line is sitting at 31.5. Okay. It's exactly how Vegas broke this game down. How many deep balls? This is a matchup where I feel like all we're going to see is a bunch of deep shots, because you got Speedster Tyreek Hill, you got Ruggs out there and with the Raiders. So it's just, it's going to be an exciting game, because I wanted to see what wide receivers going to go off completely, So, but to get to the stats, the Chiefs, man. What's your thoughts on the Chiefs, man, this season?
Well, he just released Aaron Jones. I guess he's putting all his eggs in the basket of, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, running the ball with him. But he's been playing a little bit better with Mahomes. And I think for both of these users, they're 2 users that are used to calling kind of the same thing all game. And, with this play count and you can't go back to it so quick, it's forced them to change up what they do. I know that the Chiefs just beat the Chargers right now this week. So that's a good solid win for him. And then you got H-Bo started off 3-0. He's lost 3 in a row. I think he's on a downward slide. So for me, I got to go with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm with you. My meter is tipping towards SJ and the Chiefs. But another thing that I noticed about these Chiefs is, man, they're giving up 38 points per game. That's never a good sign when your defense is giving up your many points. In this matchup right here, though, it's easy to fall victim to the trap. So with my pick, I'm going with H-Bo and them Raiders, man, because I don't believe in the Chiefs' defense, man. And the way HBO comes out there and play offense, man, it will make you scratch your head, because you'll be so frustrated because he's running the same constant stuff at you. Don't even matter with the cooldown. I'm not even worried about the cooldown, because he's going to find some way, somehow, how to put Ruggs on a street route. I'm telling you, it doesn't even matter. If he could put a street route on the inside zone, he'll do it. That's how crazy it is, man. So with my pick, man, I'm going with them Raiders, just because off of the fact that I'm not, a fan of what this Chiefs defense is showing me. But moving on, we got Expert in the Dallas Cowboys versus Carl and those Cleveland Browns. Yo, what is going on out in Dallas? What is going on? I cannot believe I'm saying this, but the Dallas Cowboys are 2-5. What's your thoughts on this matchup and what's going on with Dallas, man?
Well, he did come off with a win tonight against that user in Green Bay, as we've been accustomed to calling him.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is the turnovers. Dak's only thrown 12 tubs, 21 interceptions. Zeke is doing his thing, toting the rock. But I think the turnover bug has gotten him. He's really getting the ball to Michael Gallup out there, 43 receptions, 716 yards. But outside of that, his next leading receiver only has 10 catches. So I think he needs to focus on spreading the ball around a little bit more. I know he's got a lot of young players on that defense. They're going to continue to develop. As far as Cleveland, I know he's coming off a loss to that Washington football team. He's got a shiny new toy over there with Kittle that he just traded for, a 49er fan. He's got that young quarterback, Darren Favors, the rookie that he's starting, developing. So there's going to be some growing pains. But I think this is going to be a good, close game, a shootout. And whoever doesn't turn the ball over is going to win this game.
100%. I'm going to lean with Sean this one. I feel like, I don't know if the Dallas Cowboys are trying to focus in on developing these young guys because, they seem to every single week be stating that the whole barn stable was OTB, so I don't know what's going on out there in Dallas. However, the Browns, yes, it seems like they just keep getting richer and richer. I don't know. You already got a dangerous wide receiver group. Then you added George Kittle. Oh, my God. This is just ridiculous. However, I feel like his Achilles heel is this rookie quarterback. All right, because sometimes when you're bringing in these young guys and you got so many dangerous weapons on the offensive side of the ball, he tends to force things. And I also feel like he's chasing a reward with this kid. So I think this is the perfect game right here for the type of user that Expert is. He's a guy who loves to take away the middle of the field. And I feel like his user skills will keep this a close matchup. However, the way the Dallas Cowboys has been playing, because they actually lost last week to the Packers. They lost last week. So watching that game and then seeing him come back against another top opponent in the DML, I think this is going to be a bad game for the Cowboys, man. So with my pick, one with the upset pick, man. I'm going to take Expert and the Dallas Cowboys getting the W going into week 10. I don't know. Even though I feel like I'm not believing in what they're showing me, my gut is telling me that Expert's going to come out. Try to prove a point, man. Try to prove a point in this one. But moving on, we got under in the Jacksonville Jaguars versus your Indianapolis Colts. Now you come into this matchup, which is crazy still, because you sitting at 1-6. But if you're able to put together a couple of W's, you still have a shot at winning this division. What's your mindset going into this game?
Shoot, games against under are always tough. He's got that defense filled with superstars and X factors. I'm struggling, just breaks not going my way. I'm playing pretty solid, spreading the ball. Just little things here and there are not going my way. But like you said, I'm still in it somehow. A couple division games, I got the Jags, somebody else, and then the Jags again. I just got to not turn the ball over. I already know this is going to be a slugfest. We both love to run the ball and play defense. So, once again, whoever doesn't turn the ball over, whoever gets that one big play or two big plays is going to win this game.
Yeah, I like the way that under his defense is, man. Give me them Seattle Seahawks Doomsday vibes, Legion of Doom vibes. That's what it gives me. But in this matchup, man, I think even though his defense plays you tough, the way that your offense is ran, how well balanced it is, but with the rushing attack, passing attack, I feel like that you will put this Jacksonville Jaguar defense in tough situations, and I think that you're going to capitalize on those situations. So with my pick, man, I gotta go with the Colts at home, feeding off that home crowd energy, getting the W going into week 10. Moving on, we got Flair and the Los Angeles Rams versus Tight Work and the Miami Dolphins. Now, around this time, this is a must-win for the Miami Dolphins. Last season, this would have probably been a slot at, finishing high in the AFC as far as for the playoff spots. But this is a must-win for the Dolphins to keep their playoff hopes alive, which is crazy to say about these Miami Dolphins in tight work. They're sitting at 3-3, going up against Flair as a must-win game. This is crazy, man. But Flair, it's getting that toxicness out in LA because he lost all his key players, which made some games, close for him. But the Rams is out of the equation. Let's talk about the Dolphins. I think that tight work has to come out and just play his game. Get the rushing attack going, which has been struggling all season. We allow his passing game to open up and just build off this win. Build some momentum off this win to get the ship going in the right direction. So I'm locked in. This is a no-brainer with tight work and the Dolphins getting a W. What's your thoughts on this game? Who you going with?
Yeah, I feel Tight's just kind of there, just kind of going through the motions right now. He really hasn't picked up momentum, like you said. Flair, he's kind of up and down. He's got JT leading the way over there with almost 1,000 yards already and 8 tubs.
Mm-hmm.
But what does Tight do? Tight is going to take away what you do best. He's going to stop the run, and he's going to force Justin Herbert to beat him. And with only 4 touchdowns on the season, I don't think that can happen. I don't think he's got enough speed on the outside, and I just don't see it happening, so I got the Dolphins.
All right, moving on, man. We got Eddie and those Baltimore Ravens versus KP and the Philadelphia Eagles. This game right here is going to be electrifying because these are two guys who are familiar with each other's game style, and it's going to be good. But the key thing in this matchup that I'm going to be looking out for is, can this Philadelphia Eagles front four contain Lamar Jackson, but also can that secondary keep up with these blazing hot Baltimore Ravens wide receivers? Because the Eagles love to come out in man coverage, and believe me, this week those cornerbacks and them secondaries going to have their hands full. If the Eagles could contain Lamar Jackson, which is one of the most impossible missions in Madden, and figure out how to keep this offense in check, but also still on their side of the offensive ball put up numbers, I think they can come out with the win. However, I'm locked in with the Ravens getting a W going into week 10 just because they got Lamar Jackson, man. That boy is bad. What's your thoughts on this game and who you going with?
Well, looking at both of these rosters, they're loaded with talent. I do think that the Eagles have that linebacker, Taylor. He's got 90 speed, 91 excel. He'll be able to keep Lamar contained, perhaps, maybe control him to just 1 or 2 breaks. But my question is, for the Eagles, how in the hell you got a fullback leading your team in receptions? 30 receptions, 470 yards, and 9 touchdowns. A fullback. I don't understand it. I don't know what's going on. I'm taking the Ravens.
Come on, KP, man. Don't be playing like the real-life Eagles, man. Come on. You got to get those guys involved. Moving on, man. We got Butters and the New Orleans Saints versus the big homie and those New York Giants. Butters coming to this matchup. He has to. It's just this simple. He has to win this game. All right? You sitting right there in the pack. Still has a shot at winning this division. This is a must-win game. You got to come out and you got to get your guys going because outside of Rigger, who you got over there, and I forget the tight end name, but you got to get your rushing attack going, lean on that run game like you have grown accustomed in the past, and allow your run game to bust this game wide open. All right, the Giants, man, is just struggling all across the board, so do not fall victim to this trap game. Go out there on the road, focus on your game plan, stick to your game plan. Don't get too greedy with the field goal fakes and stuff like that. Come out here with a solid game plan, stick to it, and secure this easy W to move your team in the right direction going into week 10. So with my pick, it's a no-brainer. I'm locked in with Butters and the Saints getting a W going to week 10 with a W. What's your thoughts on this game? Who you going with?
Man, I got the Saints as well. Zach Callaway, that quarterback in New York, 5 touchdowns, 21 picks, just not good. A lot of talent over there just going to waste. And the Saints just traded H-Bo for that quarterback. Nice quarterback, Dalton Garner. I think he's got to figure him out, get him going. A young quarterback, solid numbers. Once he does that, I think he'll be all right. But I got the Saints.
All right, moving on. Next we got...
Oh, my God. He's shit everywhere.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, y'all already know we got the shit bowl game, but it's crazy because we got two shit bowl games. So this is like the diarrhea type shit this week. But coming, let's break down this first shit bowl game, man. We got Skill Trade and the Pittsburgh Steelers versus Taz and the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, this is why. Let's break down. Why are these guys struggling? Well, I already know why the Steelers are struggling because they just can't seem to, like I said in previous shows, that they cannot seem to get their own foot out of their mouths. Whether it's making a trade, whether it's them on the playing field, they just can't seem to keep their foot out of their mouth. But why do you think that the Cincinnati Bengals are struggling this season?
Turnovers, man. I mean, you look at both of these teams' starting quarterbacks, a total of 50 interceptions between Carson Wentz and Joe Burrow. Mm-hmm. When you're turning it over like that, you're always playing catch up. You're always forcing the ball. The Steelers made this trade for Carson Wentz. He's got 5 touchdowns, 20 picks. You got Saquon over there, who's still a monster, still a beast, not even 28 years old, and you don't even have 300 yards rushing with him. That's sad. That's pathetic. I got the Bengals in this one.
Yeah, of course, man. I'm just going. The reason I'm just looking at the stat wise, they can't convert on third down. If you can't, you have to be able to convert on third down. How you went for it 73 times, and out of that 73, you only converted 20 of them. That's bad. That's bad. So, like you said, Saquon Barkley. I mean, this guy can easily get you a good 5.5 to 6 yards per carry. Also, he's a dual threat running back. He got the receiving and he can run the ball. So it's just mind-boggling me. But it's a no-brainer for me, man. If Taz could come out, because Taz knows how to play this guy. Taz knows the formula to beating the Pittsburgh Steelers because it's easy to beat a team when they're already beating themselves. So I'm locked in with the Bengals getting a W going into Week 10. Let's break down this next shit bowl game. We got JB and the Houston Texans versus Centaur and those Detroit Lions. So I'm going to let you take lead on this one, man, because I got to put on my shit blockers. This is a lot of shit this week.
Man, I don't know what's going on with the Texans. I thought he came out looking strong, but he's lost a few games in a row. Turnover bugs got him a little bit again. Then you got Conehead over there, struggling just to play his games, always loafing. He's got 2 running backs over there with 40 carries, but not even 200 yards. Same thing, turnovers. I think he's trying to force the ball to Diggs too much. In this one, I got to go with my homie down in Houston. I think he's going to get off the schneid here, finally get another dub. I'm going with Houston.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Houston on this one too, because even though looking at these numbers, man, and his defense, it's not so much his defense. It's just that his offense can't figure out. The receivers can't get separation. The rushing attack can't get going. So when you got a combination of those two toxic things on the offense side of the ball, because one has to be working, it makes the other struggle. So I think that this week, Deshaun Watson comes out, get things going on the offensive side of the ball, and the defense actually will probably look good in this matchup. So my pick, I'm locked in with you too, man. I got Houston Texans getting the W going into Week 10. Y'all got all the Week 9 picks. Now let's dive into the DML game of the week. This week we got Bruce and the San Francisco 49ers versus Vitamin and those Seattle Seahawks. This right here is going to be a battle. Bruce fell short in a last matchup, but I feel like entering this one, okay, Bruce is going to have to figure out how to get his offense going. He traded away George Kittle, which in my opinion, I don't feel like was a good trade. He traded away his running back. So I feel like, he's emptying the ship, but he's still a good user. So he's going to have to figure out with Daniel Jones how to get this offense going, because since I feel like week 1 and 2, the rushing attack has died down, and I feel like he's putting too much pressure on Daniel Jones' shoulder. However, this defense has the weapons to keep up with DK Metcalf, the other speedster out there, and be able to keep control of this game, because Vitamin is one of those users, whereas though if you let him hang around or you take your eye off him for a quick second, he could be putting up 45 points on you. So I feel like Bruce has to come into this matchup with the mindset, of getting his rushing attack going, coming out there with some of those surprise trick plays thrown in the mix, and keep this Seattle Seahawks defense unbalanced. If he can do that, I feel like he could squeak out a W in this one. And I know he's definitely not trying to get swept by the Seattle Seahawks this season. So I feel like he's going to be entering this matchup with a little bit of extra ump on his shoulder. So with my pick, I'm locked in with the 49ers getting the W going into week 10. What's your thoughts on this game? Who you going with?
Man, I agree with most of what you said, especially since Bruce is going to be getting back Armstead and his cornerback Mosley. They've both been out with injuries. He's getting both those players back. I think Bruce has been a little distracted, and I think you could say that about a few users. Ty, Bruce, they're kind of just chilling right there around 500, solid users that are usually doing better. I think this is the game where he finally gets going. Irons is doing his thing over there at quarterback for the Seahawks, but we know what it is. He's going to flip his plays, call audibles, but we know where the ball's going. It's going to Metcalf. So with this corner coming back, Mosley, I think Bruce is going to pound that rock and play defense and escape with a dub.
All right, man. So if you had to pick your breakout player of this matchup, who would you pick?
Well, with that being said, I'm going back to the game that we were just talking about with the 49ers and the Seahawks, and I think that in order for Bruce to win, Kamara is going to have a big game. Kamara, Fournette, that running back tandem is going to have a big game for Bruce.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with DK Metcalf on this one, man, because just looking off the numbers that he's shown, man, and how he was able to... Because the thing about it with DK Metcalf is this right here, man. One, you can use him as a diversion because he has the offensive weapons to where though you got to focus in on this guy. But then that one crucial mistake, if you take your eye off of him, he's down the field in the end zone celebrating. So with my pick in this one, I'm definitely going to have to go with DK Metcalf because he's just been balling this season, like just balling out. And I feel like the way the 49ers secondary, even though they're getting guys back, I feel like DK is due for a breakout game against the secondary. So with my pick, I'm going to have to go with DK Metcalf. All right, so y'all got all the week 9 picks. You got the shit bowl games. Y'all got the breakdown of the DML game of the week. Y'all got the breakout players of the week. Drop a comment. Let us know if we got it right. What's your thoughts? Who are your picks? Who are your breakout players on the DML network? We out.